All right, I wanted to make a quick video today of this Zeroid that I bought for parts recently. It had a couple pieces that I wanted, and then I got it and started cleaning it up. It had been glued all over the shoulders here. So I went ahead and decided to put it together and make it work. I also did take the part off of it that I wanted. So, one of the things that had happened, and I can show this in a video later, is that the kid who had this had glued it all over to try to hold these two pieces together here of the torso, because the screw inside, of course, had broken loose. The plastic had been over tightened and it broke loose. So I went inside and used my soldering iron with an old tip and basically plastic welded that piece back together so that he'd stay together without glue. So I think that was the first thing that I did. He's got good contacts in here. This is in good shape. I have not repaired the arm so that it throws yet. The spring is in there, but I still have to go in there and when I want to and fix it so that that spring works. The hands are pretty good. But mostly what was done was in this base. This screw had to be put back in. I used a nut there as a spacer because my screw was too long. I used it as like a washer. I had an extra motor that I popped in that works. But my treads, the original treads, are so loose that they really don't work anymore. They're both there. They're intact, but they don't work anymore, so I just made it so that it can run on these wheels for right now. I may buy some of these new aftermarket treads. But the main thing that I wanted to look at, here's the piece that I took and put on a different guy who needed it, that switch. Mostly it's this, which is not attractive, but it has two of these little snap things that engage with this slot up in here. Not easy to see, but there's a slot right there, and it clips into. It was not made to last a long time, clearly. So this one's okay still, but the one on this side had snapped off, was gone. So I just took a piece of tin, actually, fairly heavy gauge tin, and I cut it so that it's, this wide, which is, maybe a ½ inch wide, and it was probably about 1 inch long. It goes, there's an opening down in here. You can see it on this side. And I slid that piece of tin down in there, and then I bent the top of it over so that it sort of mimics this shape here, so it will grab onto that little slot in the body. Bent it over the way I wanted it, and then this is just Gorilla Glue. If you guys are familiar with Gorilla Glue, this is the way it looks when it sets up. It's got all these air bubbles in it. Most of that you could take out if you wanted, the excess, but it's not harming anything. The batteries go in and out just fine. So, yeah, so you bend that thing to the shape that you need, if you can see that. The way it's supposed to be like this. Just give it something to hook onto. Let that sit, and then I take this and slip it into that slot on the back and snap it together, and it works like a champ. And it can be taken apart again. You press in here mostly to take it back apart if you want. It takes a second sometimes to find the right way to do it, but you can take it back apart. And there you go. And then it's oh, where are my batteries? Try to turn them on. The switch is not working. There you go. For some reason, that switch isn't working very well right now. Yeah, so without the treads, as long as it's a hard surface, you'll be fine. There you go.